Hey there, Wes. My name is Steve, and I'm friends with your daddy and your Uncle Tommy. And I make turkey calls. I make what they call scratch boxes. And your daddy gave me a piece of cedar wood that he had in y'all's backyard for me to make some calls out of. So I told him I'd make you one, and I made you one, and it's a good one. Except for that sticker on the front. But besides that, it will call some turkeys in, and I'm going to show you how to use it. Now, this is called a scratch box. There's two pieces to it. You have the box itself, which is a hollow box, and this one's made out of cedar, which your daddy gave me. And then this is called the striker. And this particular striker is made out of padock wood. It's an African wood, and it's a little harder than the cedar, so it gives us a little better sound. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to make a sound with this to start with. We're going to do two different sounds that turkeys make. We're going to do a yelp, and we're going to do some clucks. And I'm going to show you how to work this call. And what you're going to do is you're going to take the box, you're going to hold it in your right hand, tiger away from you, and you're going to take the striker and hold it in your left hand with these three fingers like so. And then it's just like you're going to try to shave some of the wood or chalk, is what we're using here, off the top. And if you'll simply push down very slightly on the lid and pull it up, you'll get the cluck sound. And that is a basic cluck. If you'll practice that, that's a very good call. And with less pressure or more pressure, you can make it louder or softer. Okay, for a yelp, what you're going to do is do it basically the same way, but with light pressure. Just drag the lid of the box across the striker, and you're gently going to twist the box up. And you want it to have a two-syllable sound, like yelp, like it's going to come out like chiyuk, like that. You will need to keep your striker chalked up in order for this to work good. And the harder and the softer you grip the box, the louder or softer or more vibration or less vibration the call will have. It changes the whole tone. So if you grab it tight, you're going to kill the vibration, kind of get a deeper sound. If you grab it loose, kind of get a higher pitch and a little raspier sound. Now there's several different calls you can do with just learning how to do a cluck or a yelp. The first calls are the morning calls or tree calls or morning yelps, and they're a lot softer sounding, so you'll want to very lightly make your yelps very light, and your clucks. Okay, I left one side of this lid a little bit thicker. It's on top of the tiger here. This is the thicker side, and you'll notice when I cluck with it, in order to make the sound, you have to apply more pressure. And the same on the yelps. for later in the day when sound doesn't carry as good and you're going to need to get a little louder. I don't think you'll be using that quite as much, but when you do some clucks, if you want some louder clucks, that's the side you're going to want to use. But most of the time, let's use the bottom of the Tiger here. Now, those are yelps. Just dragging the box, putting the lid down and dragging it towards me. Anytime you change the way your fingers or hands are holding it and how tight and how loose, it will change the sound of it, so you do need to practice. And the high or low sound doesn't really matter quite as much as getting that two-part yelp. The yelp, 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 yelp. And kind of staying in rhythm on it. You can get a little louder and a little raspier and build up to it. Now, after your morning calls and your tree calls, when the hen flies down, she'll do a cackle sometimes. And they call them fly down cackles, and they'll cackle on the ground. And what it is a lot of clucks or yelps building very excitedly, building up to the fly down. And sometimes they'll start off with just little cuts and clucks. Sometimes they'll kind of yelp all the way down, but very excited and very fast. And those are called fly downs. So we'll start in the morning early with tree calls, which are very light yelps, very light clucks. And then we'll come to fly down time. Okay. Now after that bird's on the ground, depending on the mood that they're in, it could be excited or you may need to tone it down. Just depends, but you'll have to learn all of that yourself. But as the day goes on, in order for them to hear, you will need to get louder. Now sometimes they do what they call cutting, which is a lot of clucks in a very unorganized way, just fast and excited. You're just putting a bunch of clucks together, popping it. Like so. Now that'll take some practice. Probably going too fast right now, but anyway,